This is the first of two parts, two videos. The first part of two on using the area model to multiply fractions. There's two categories that I like to use the area model with, and one is with simple fractions, which you see here on the left. Fractions that don't have a whole number part, and they're not a mixed number, and then the mixed fractions where you see the whole number part with a simple fraction. So on the video, because to keep it short, I'm going to do two videos, and the first part one, is just going to focus on simple fraction multiplication. So we're going to use an area model to understand the concept of simple fraction multiplication, and then we're going to generalize that concept and use an algorithm. So when we look at half, 1/2 times a fourth, we think of that as half of 1/4. A lot of us can do that with mental math, but we're going to start with an easy example and show how to apply the area model to that. So if I take an area model and I try to do half of a fourth, I'm going to draw my rectangle here and I'm going to divide it into 4 parts. So right here I have 1/4, each section's a fourth. And I'm going to shade 1/4 of my rectangle. Now with the half, I'm going to shade the other way and divide horizontally into 1/2. So here's a half and here's a half, and I'm just going to shade half of the 1/4 section. Altogether, I have 8 sections. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sections, but only this section here has the overlapping red and blue. So we say that half of a fourth is equal to an eighth. 1/8. So we're going to repeat that on the next page. So here we're taking 2/3 of 3/4. So in order to do that, to take 2/3 of 3/4, I'm first going to take my rectangle and divide it into fourths. Each section is 1/4. And I'm going to shade 3 of the 4 sections. Because altogether that's 3/4. Now I'm going to do 2/3 of the 3/4. So I have to take my rectangle and divide in the opposite direction. That's a third, that's a third, and that's a third. So this is 2/3. So I'm going to shade 2/3 of the 3/4. So when I look at that, I have this overlapping part, both of these. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 overlapping sections out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 sections altogether. So 6 parts have the red and the blue overlap. And there's 12 parts in all. So 6 out of 12 is my fraction. And if we want to divide by 6, we can reduce it to get 1/2, our final answer. Half of the whole area model is shaded. So take a minute if you're trying to figure this out and pause the video and try this yourself. And then when you're done, play it again and you can go through it with me. So when I look at this one, I have 3/4 of 2/5. So I'm going to take my area model and divide into 5 sections. Try to make it a little more even. Let's try that one more time. It doesn't have to be perfect. Each one of these is a 5th. So I'm going to shade 2/5. That's 2/5. Now I'm going to do 3/4. So I divide in the other direction. This is a 1/4. That's a 1/4. That's a 1/4. That's a 1/4. That's 3/4. I'm going to shade 3/4 of the 2/5. This is the overlap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sections out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 20 total. 6 out of 20. When we divide by 2, get 3 out of 10. So 3/10 is the final answer. That's simple multiplication with the area model.